Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. Hey, you know, on December the 17th, Silicon Harlem will host a winter soiree and toy drive. You want to come? You got to bring a toy, but it's okay. We're all going to be dancing. Bring your best dancing shoes and all that stuff. You don't have to wear tux or anything like that. But joining us to share more about the organization and the group's upcoming event is co-founder Clayton Banks. We welcome you to the show. Always a pleasure.
All right.
And thank you for all the wonderful work on our website to make the Grade Foundation's website.
Absolutely. Love working with you.
You're doing some wonderful things in Harlem. You have a name out there like Silicon Valley, Silicon Harlem. Tell us about it.
Well, Silicon Harlem. Well, but actually before I do that, I want to present you with a gift here. This is an official Silicon Harlem t-shirt. And we wanted to make sure you had this as a token of our appreciation for helping us spread the word.
There you go. Ba-bam!
So Silicon Harlem is really focused on transforming Harlem into a tech and innovation hub. And what that essentially means is being able to attract tech companies into Harlem, the ability to create incubators, really sort of foster the startup community and make sure that Harlem and the Bronx and other parts of the city are all participating in the innovation economy. So we're seeing a lot of young entrepreneurs coming up. We're starting to mentor them, be able to incubate them and essentially accelerate them through investment, through resources. So we're able to make a corridor out of Harlem to be the next sort of tech hub, as you see in the country happening all over the place.
I remember going and visiting the schools and everywhere saying, you know what, the new way of teaching is through rap. Just hit them with a rap and they can, learn how to get into the English dictionary and all that stuff. But the new way of teaching is by way of tech, because people, they got their thumbs, they're always like this. People are texting and walking, texting and riding bikes, texting and driving, You're not supposed to. They're starting to try to give tickets for texting and walking. They even started a walkway in China for people who want to text and walk.
That's right.
But in New York City, youngsters are into it. They're on it. All you got to do is just pave the way, grab them by the hand and say, hey, come on, let's go do this.
Well, that's one of the things that we work on with the schools, with the colleges. We call it STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. The more that the kids are exposed to that at a very early age, the more they're prepared to fill the pipeline of jobs of the future. So you look at 2020, even just 6 years from now, 75% of jobs are going to require some level of a technology competence. So we've got, it's not just a New York City issue, it's not just a New York issue, it's a country issue as well as a world issue, that these jobs have to be filled. So we have to start helping these kids embrace STEM so that they can be prepared for those jobs in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you see kids walking around with iPads now, 5 and 6 years old. Walking around with iPads, and they know what to do with it too.
Well, that's the good news, right? They're coming up as what we call digital natives.
Yeah.
It's just part of their life. It's not something extra like it might have been for you and I.
Right.
These kids grow up as digital natives, so it's come secondhand. The key now is to make sure that they don't just be consumers, that they can actually be makers. They can make products, make new inventions, create the next Facebook, create the next Instagram. We want to make sure that they're actually thinking on that level of how to apply technology to solve new issues.
So we have that going on right in the neighborhood, in Harlem, USA, when you didn't think that anything like this would happen.
Exactly. I mean, what better place, right? Where you have the sort of culmination of everything, culture, entertainment, great restaurants, great food, great neighborhoods. So what greater place than to bring technology into that area, as well as seeing new companies emerge in that area. So we become known as a place for opportunity and a great place to raise a family and to really have the quality of life that we all sort of aspire for.
What made you think about Harlem as a hub?
Well, Harlem in and of itself is a special place, and it's had its history of Renaissance, being able to capture both arts, culture, and life into one big movement. We felt that it was time for that same sort of Renaissance, but to be rooted in technology. If you look at the way the country and the world is going, if you don't want an area like Harlem to be left behind, nor do you want the Bronx or anywhere else to be left behind. So in order to make sure or ensure of that, I and my co-founder Bruce Lincoln felt that it was important that we galvanize the community galvanize the politicians, galvanize the stakeholders in the area, and everyone has seemed to come on board and recognize that technology is our future.
So there will be no digital divide in Harlem.
If I have anything to say about it, Bob Lee, there will be no digital divide. And the new digital divide, back in the day, the digital divide was access. The digital divide today is speed. What city has the highest speed?
Wow.
And that's what's most important. And I have to take my head off to Mayor de Blasio, who's really focused on making sure that New York City is one of those leading cities that have gigabit infrastructure. And that's what we want to make sure Harlem and the Bronx and those areas don't get left behind by having gigabit infrastructure. It's very important to what we have to do in the future.
What does that mean, gigabit infrastructure?
So that's a speed issue. Right now, speed, getting access to the internet, being able to do things like 3D printing, being able to move big movie files or big shows like yours is really important to have a really fast and robust broadband infrastructure.
Yeah.
Right now, the infrastructure has often been based around some of the coaxial cable and things of that nature. Now we're looking at fiber, which is what some of the incumbents are doing now, putting fiber everywhere, which means things can move much faster and much bigger at quicker speeds.
And you know, I used to broadcast from the telephone booth.
There you go. So you've come a long way, Dr. Bob Lee.
Full of changes. Hey, I need you to go to this spot here. I need you in this neighborhood over here. Just call back on the telephone. So I had to find where all the good telephone booths were.
That's right.
But they're going to take those telephone booth locations, and I think they're going to do Wi-Fi from them, right?
A big, huge announcement a couple of weeks ago where they're going to take all the public telephone stations that are sort of located in various parts of the city and turn them into Wi-Fi hotspots. They'll have a 150-foot radius of connectivity, so you'll be able to walk around New York City and any time be able to do your work or entertainment or even watch a movie.
Should people be worried because somebody can get in between those connections and get your information?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I mean, privacy, all types of virus activity. There's a lot of things you should always be worried about. Yeah. But between what the new sort of level of technology that we've been able to progress in, we're able to capture a lot of that and prevent some of that. It's always going to be there because there's always people doing bad, but there's much more good to it than there will be bad.
Yeah, because there was a program on the other day, and they were talking about some of the biggest companies like Target have been targeted, and you know, people, it's happening from all across the seas. You know, people just getting in between your connection there.
Well,
and stealing information.
I mean, right now we're in the shopping season, right? So people are very worried about people being able to get into their credit cards. So we have to be very careful with that. We all have to protect our privacy.
Yeah. Tell us about this wonderful event that you have coming up.
So December 17th, on Wednesday, December 17th, in Harlem at a place called My Image Studios, Mist, on 116th Street between Lenox and Fifth Avenue. We're having our winter soiree and toy drive. So we're really looking to drive a bunch of toys to the Children's Aid Society, which provides toys to kids that are living in shelters and all over the place in the city. So we've got a big night because we also have the chief data officer from Mayor de Blasio's office named Amin-Ra Mashariki, a young brother that came out of the Obama administration who's just been named the sort of the data czar of New York City. So that's a big
data czar.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
And we also have a movie that we're showing, a screening of a short film called A Geek's Guide to Love and Romance. So that's going to be a fun evening for us techies.
All the geeks in the house say ho.
So yeah, it's a big night, but most importantly, it's going to be fun. We'll have music, we'll have all types of networking opportunities. There'll be a lot of great people at this event, so we're very excited about it. We hope everyone comes out. This
is great. I mean, you're doing a great thing in Harlem, and I'm sure it's going to spread all across the country. This is just a starting point.
It is. Sure. It's vital, actually, to urban centers to embrace technology. Even places like Gary, Indiana, and Cleveland, and Atlanta. We need to have these places because the millennials that we see around us now, they want to live in cities. They want to have a good balanced life of fun and work. And Silicon Valley is great, but it's not necessarily that great in terms of that balance. So it's the urban centers that are going to be the new Silicon Valleys of the future. We start with Silicon Harlem, and we spread it all out.
I know you've been working in the tech world for a long time, you know, but you're talking about having something nice. You have music, you have a band. What's going on there?
Well,
how's it going to look that day?
That day at the soiree, we will have a DJ. We're going to have, all types of fun activity. We can have more than one DJ, by the way, because you have a very good one. And we're going to come, you said don't wear a tux on. I may wear a tux. I don't know, but I mean, if that'll get more people to come out, I'll actually put a tux on.
Yeah.
And certainly we invite you to be there, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
What date is that again?
That's Wednesday, December 17th. That's at Mist Miami Studios, right on 116th Street between Lenox and 5th in the beautiful neighborhood of Harlem.
And that's right next to the outdoor vending area,
Yes,
right?
that's the African market is right there. That's correct.
All right. Beautiful. Is there a website we can go to and check
You
it
can
out?
go to siliconharlem.net, and we would like for everyone to RSVP, so I'll take care of yours. But the RSVP address is siliconharlem.net.
Can you put that on my website also?
Absolutely.
There you go.
I think I can do that.
Clayton Banks, thank you
right.
so much.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Dr.
give him a
Butler.
big hand, everybody. Yes, indeed. All right,
Thank
we're
you.
going to take a short break right here, Clayton, but coming up next, we'll find out about what one group is doing to maintain affordable housing. It's important. Stay right there. We'll be right back.